as you know, AI is the talk of the town. Like everyone is talking about AI, AI this, AI that, AI that. But here in Nigeria, where we are, some people are saying, why can't Nigeria compete in AI? Like, where is Nigeria in the conversation? China just launched their own model, DeepSeek. Where is Nigerians' own, should I say shallow sick? But yeah, so where is it? What's happening? Why can't Nigeria compete in the AI race? Okay, so firstly, we know that the big players, the ChatGPT, the Google Gemini, the Llama by Meta, those technologies are backed by huge companies, big companies, and there's a lot of money and investments that have gone into research, gone into infrastructure, and all of that. And this has gone on for years. Like when I mean years, I mean a lot of years. Before OpenAI even launched ChatGPT, there has been different GPTs, just that there was no interface to interact with it. Yeah, ChatGPT just brought the front end, or should I say the user interface, the UI, so that we could use the GPT, that's the AI model. Yeah, and that's what took off. Yeah, but the research and the actual AI models, like this was, I think they launched with GPT-3. So there was GPT-1, GPT-2, and then GPT-3. And that's when they launched, the chat GPT. And that was the first interaction. And that was the beginning of the boom of AI, basically. Yeah. And, I just saw some tweets on Twitter, like just casually saying, Nigeria here, Nigeria this, we can't compete. China just launched their own DeepSeek. Why can't we do this thing? I'm like, yo, do you know like the history of the work that has gone into this before we can even start to enter the conversation? Where is the infrastructure? So firstly, let's start with it from the infrastructure perspective. Yeah. So even before you're able to have your model and all of that, even the research and everything, you need the facilities of like the servers that can handle the load and the computation power and all of that stuff, and these things needs to be on. You can see where I'm going with this. They need to be on, meaning that they need power, they need light. And as you know, we don't have like 24 hours electricity. One of the places that claim to be on band A, should get like some disruptions without like any alternative. So solar is becoming a thing. So hopefully there'll be a situation where we have server farms completely powered by solar. I still feel like that is really far, before we get there. But I feel a lot more people are being interested, because in the AI world, infrastructure is a major thing. And if you could get into that, like have your own AI server farms in Nigeria powered by solar, that is reliable and all of that, I feel like you're already in a niche market, and you'll probably do well. Maybe that's a business idea. Maybe I should go venture into that. What do you think? But anyway, so that's on the infrastructure level. Yes, on the research, I think on the research and, should I say, technical expertise, I think we have really good like engineers, or should I say AI engineers, that can actually perform at should I say similar level as the AI engineers that are currently researching, because it's the same Nigeria where we have people working for Microsoft, Google. People live here and climb the top of like Netflix and all of that stuff. So with the right knowledge, right skills, I'm sure that Nigerians right now that are into like the actual core of AI. I know when I started my career, I had a friend. Funny enough, I started on the AI path. My first programming language was Python. I started using Python to like manipulate data, and stuff like that. Finished like the whole course on it, and it was pretty interesting. But I wasn't a big fan of it, so I switched to web development, which is what I still do today. But I had a friend who was like the opposite. She started with like web development, and then wasn't finding that so interesting, and then got introduced to the AI, and she was interested, and that's what she still does today. So I think just preference of what people like and stuff. But I know, so that's someone back in, that was in 2018, 2019. Yeah, and that's when the person started the whole data science, from data science and all of that. And got into machine learning, and person was learning linear algebra and some mathematics stuff. I studied maths in school, so I was like, you're learning this out of your own free will. you know it was funny, because when you learn it in university, it's like, lecturer is pointing a gun in your head. It was pass this exam. So it's a very different thing to see someone willingly opening a linear algebra textbook, or and just trying to understand what's happening because of AI. Yeah. So there are definitely people that have the skill set and have already gone that deep, that could potentially um do a lot of stuff on that level. But the issue with that is that, where is the financial backing? If these people got like financial backing to start up their own research labs, research facilities, so even if the infrastructure is not there, they need the funding to like accommodate that, so, or to, should I say, replace that. So they need the funding to be able to access infrastructure elsewhere, which is now going to be more expensive. Yeah. But that's the only way that would work. So where is the funding coming from? So people that are starting on that level, like, I mean, I don't mean the using the GPT level now, I mean like building the GPT, which right now the whole world will advise you not to want to try that. But I'm just saying, like, when people are asking why can't Nigeria compete, I'm trying to explain like the reason why we can't compete. So if you want to do that, which is like build like a deep seek or your own version or your own model, which is not advisable, but there are people that have the skill set. So the people that have the skill set, why can't they do it? Simply because there's no funding, no one funding their research. Because we don't have the infrastructure. You want to be able to get infrastructure that can power what you're, the models you're building and all of that stuff, and that's quite expensive. So a person that's trying to even just fund themselves, can't access that kind of fund. And stuff like that. But I think the once we can solve the infrastructure problem, I think it would open doors to a lot more people that have the skill set and are interested in building these things actually. And it's going to be quite fun, because having your own models that's tuned to the use cases that you need it to be tuned to is like, I feel like that's where you see the best of AI, when it's tuned to a particular use case, and will definitely benefit as a country if that is ever going to be achieved in Nigeria. So with these few points of mine, I hope I've been able to convince you that we cannot compete. Yeah, we can't compete right now, and that's just the honest truth. Yeah, we can only leverage some other uses of AI. So I have another video coming up explaining why AI is here to stay. If you're interested in that, the video will probably be here if you're watching this like 2 weeks or 1 month from now. The video is probably linked, next. Also, there's another video that talks about how to position yourself in this AI world that we're living in. So if you're a career professional and you're thinking, this AI is about to take my job, that video is for you. So stick around, subscribe if you're not, like the video, share with the people that you feel like, would like to know more about AI and stuff. So it's Neurocodes, and I'll see you in the next one.